Thank you so much for the warm welcome, and I really am delighted to be here today. So I'm the CEO of Futerra, and I am an entrepreneur working on climate and sustainability every day. Do we have the slides ready to go? I'm using the clicker, that's good. Thank you. Obviously, I'm well used to a presentation. Here we are. So I thought what I could bring today, I thought about a few things, my inspirational journey as an entrepreneur. And then I thought, you know what? I am a really busy working mum, CEO, entrepreneur. Life is too short. I'm going to try and bring something of use. So I hope what I bring is of use to you in honing your pitches and thinking about the solutions that you're selling. So Futerra, change agency, we've got 20 years experience of basically selling sustainability. And whether that's developing public campaigns or working with our clients to hone their solutions, you wouldn't believe the amount of pitch decks I've done to boards. We always say, if you're having to do pitch deck after, sell deck after sell deck after sell deck, you're onto a good thing. You're trying to persuade someone to do something that hasn't been done before. So I hope what I can bring is a little bit of that. But just before I go into that, this is what Futerra believes and stands for even. I don't think we've got any audio.
Thank you. Long word for short attention spans. Put simply, it's the human age. You human beings are having such an impact on the planet. You've
Talking
got a
about
whole
the
geological
anthropocene.
era named after you. The people who invented smartphones and spaceships and architecture and language, toilets, art, science, education and dancing and power and plastic and whatever that is, and dancing and deforestation, exclusion, pollution and poverty and climate change. The Anthropocene is us, all of us, a species whose DNA is made of mistakes and miracles. Sure, we made the problems, but we are the solution. And you're the answer, one of the dreamers and shapers, builders and makers, someone with the power to make the Anthropocene awesome. This is your future. So, choose your own adventure. And remember, folks, if you want to dodge an apocalypse, then you better aim for awesome.
So that's our mission, make the Anthropocene awesome. I'll tell you a little bit about what we do in a moment. That's our team, or at least some of our team, spread over the UK, and we've got offices in London, I'll go over here for a sec, London and New York, Mexico City. We work all over the world. We're also part of Race to Zero, UN Climate. We're the first professional services firm, so basically we are a consultancy, but as a consultancy, we're the first professional services firm to get climate solutions provider status. And what that means is we do think about our operational footprint, but mainly we think about the work that we do, the strategies we write for our clients, the communications campaigns we put together, and that is where our material impact is. We are very fortunate to work with fantastic clients, but the first thing I want to bring to you is we're really in a pivot moment right now. I think the people in this room are probably more aware of that than most, but we are facing a crossroads at the moment between our traditional extractive and exploitative economy and the solutions economy. And again, the closer you are to working on climate and sustainability, often the more optimistic you are. But I spend a lot of time talking to a lot of people around the world who are thinking, is it too late? And are the pathways to 1.5 degree changing? And that's because we planned climate action in a relatively linear way. It kind of makes sense. It thinks that's how change happens. Change does not happen in this way. So the first thing I kind of want to bring to you is if you're ever thinking, oh God, it's too late, and will my solution make enough of a difference? And can we actually get there to solutions economy? Yes, we can. These are various graphs of how social change happens, from adoption of new tech to adoption of equal rights marriage. And this hockey stick is prevalent through and through. And it kind of makes sense, because as people, we don't really like change. We only have a limited attention span. We like things to stay the same. And we only, and that's why I say it's a pivot moment, change when it's become too difficult to continue on. So that first line, how we plan climate action, it's not going to happen that way. We're going to take a hockey stick moment up, and that's where we are right now. And so over to you guys. Obviously, this is all of our careers for the rest of our lives is moving from that extractive, exploitative economy to the solutions economy. So how are we going to do that? Well, I'll bring you, I'm going to canter really quickly over some of our work and get to some of the insights that we've had in this last 20 years of working on this. So we're fortunate enough to work with fantastic people like Google. We wrote their circular strategy, their carbon strategy. But even our deep technical work is based on insights and human insights. And the insight we found for Google was waste is a data problem. Actually, it's just waste being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So that insight then powered the circular strategy we put together for Google. Econil, a great solution in the fashion space, entrepreneurial story. It's not our pet, it's recycled polymers that are high grades, can go round and round and round. We worked with Econil on the positioning of that, which they say was their kind of jumping off point for the huge partnerships they brought in with Prada and others. And Formula One, one of my favorites. When we first got that gig, it was like, oh, really? Formula One? Can we? And for me, well, we took them net zero back in 2018, a commitment to be net zero by 2030. But for me, the big win here is not necessarily the footprint. The carbon footprint, when you look at Formula One, shows that engine, that Formula One engine that races round is 0.0001% of their carbon footprint. But it is 100% of the brain print, the entertainment spectacle, what brings new audience in. And so the work that I'm most proud of with Formula One is the work to bring in synthetic fuels, because the spillover effect of that, if you can do drop-in synthetic fuels to 1.5 billion road vehicles overnight, then that's the solutions economy. So the reason I say all this is that I want to bring you a little bit of that magic and logic, or that kind of behavioural perspective that we've learned over the years. And this is my family. Every entrepreneur should have their family story, of course. And I bring you this because this was a moment where the work that we've been doing around climate communication strategy for the UK government and on behaviour change really came real to me. So I used to spend all my summers going to Ireland as a kid. I hadn't been back for about 10 years in that kind of terrible teenage, like, Mum, I don't want to go to Ireland way. And in my early 20s, got tempted back. It was an aunt's 50th, and we all, gathered as the Sheas. And there was this moment when my aunties who smoked, I was shocked because the impact on, basically the half of the family that didn't smoke looked in pretty good nick. The half of the family that did smoke were not so healthy. And I returned to the Futerra office. I was a smoker at the time. And I suddenly realized that my Futerra colleagues, they were saying some quite odd things to me. They're like, they were saying, you just never really struck me as a smoker. Or now that you've met Aldo, my then new boyfriend, do you think you'll continue smoking? Or other things. And I gave up smoking. And I realized what had happened to me. For those that know, and it was the insights the Futerra team were given to me were all from this evidence base we pulled together about how to change hearts and minds on climate change. That they'd knocked up some big behavioural kind of bats on me. Transition zones when I was meeting a new boyfriend, going into a potentially new part of my life. Social proof, no one else in Futerra is smoking. Symbolic self-completion, that you don't look like a smoker, and salience, those smoking aunties with the salience, what would happen to my skin. like to reassure you, we all gave up in my family after this. It wasn't just me. So why I bring this to you is that this thinking about how we're going to sell our solutions is critical. And we know that folks are interested. So if you look around, Google Trends, for example, shows that people are searching on how to live a sustainable lifestyle. The Google Trends analysis or data shows that these searches are up 4,550%. And I love search data because it's kind of what I consider to be the real data, rather than necessarily the surveys where we always slightly overstate how good we are or what we're doing. So that's good. And as some stats from my colleague's book, How to Be a Solutionist by Solitaire Townsend, our co-founder. Hope is a business plan. In all of these areas of climate innovation, there is an enormous potential business model and price tag to be won. But, and obviously this is where your innovations come in, how do we sell these solutions? So I'll bring you I think I've got about 5 minutes left. I'll bring you, in the last 5 minutes, a couple of core insights, which I hope will be of use for you as you hone your solutions and pitch them as you ongoing. So first of all, everyone talks about the values action gap, and you're going to hear that as you pitch your solutions into business. Oh, but are consumers going to buy this, and will they pay more? No, they're not going to pay more. They were never going to pay more, but they will buy it if we realize that this values action gap is actually a barrier. And what can smash through this barrier, or what this barrier is composed of, is a ton of different barriers. So the ultimate purchaser of these solutions or these inventions is going to be worried about, can she afford it? Can she find it? Does she believe you? Is it really better? Is it normal? Does it call to her? So we have all these different behavioral and psychological barriers around desire, preference, shame, trust, etc. And it's almost as if, and I've been doing this for 20 years, the marketeers who are selling these solutions kind of forget this bit when it comes to the sustainability solutions. And we've got to smash through these barriers with benefits. And we wrote some guidance on this some time ago, all available on the website, looking at how barriers can only be busted by benefits. So thinking about, in that kind of end product or end solution, what is the functional, emotional, and social benefit? And there could be a few. Now, I don't have much time, so I'm going to flip through this quite quickly, but all of this is on our website. We freely gift away the IP on this, so please download it, use it. Functional benefits, as they sound, are the type of things around value for money, performance, efficiency, safety, quality. Here is one.
These are amazing for travel. These are really amazing for travel. They blend.
Hang on.
These are amazing for travel. Really easy to top up.
That's not right. Okay, that was basically about a new sustainable refill thing and how good they are for travel, for example. You've all seen the Levi's messaging, buy a pair of jeans, wash it less, wear it longer. That's the type of functional benefit. Could save you money, energy use, etc. Not always thought about are emotional benefits. So sensory pleasure, self-worth, big one for the psychology around climate change. Happiness, personalization, excitement. So here, let's see if this one will work.
All right, do your worst.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, shit. Oh my God, that is insane.
And that's 100
and something, 100 and a lot. So
That's the Tesla test drive, the kind of, 0 to 60 in a couple of seconds. And the evidence base now shows one of your best ways of getting someone to buy an EV is to get them to test drive an EV. Social benefits, different to emotional. This is how something is going to make you look in the eyes of others. So can it give, virtue signaling? Can it prove an identity? Can it make you look desirable? Could it improve family bonding? These are the types of social benefits. This outside of climate, but is still within sustainability, is the Dove Turn Your Back campaign, going against the TikTok filters, which are all about, perfection and looking glorious, and just saying, we don't agree with that. Our identity is people as we are, basically. All right. So what I would suggest is, as you're honing your pictures, thinking about your solutions, have a think about the various different barriers that ultimately must be crossed. And even with your, who you're selling into, your businesses, what are the barriers you're going to have to bash through, and what are the benefits you can think about, functional, emotional, or social, that your innovation can bring. But the final piece I want to leave you with is that benefits are not enough. Oftentimes, what we're selling now requires a behavioral approach. We're not just selling benefits, we're changing behaviors. And if we look around, so IPCC has done this wonderfully for us. They've delineated the top 61 behaviors that as individuals we should be focusing on in order to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions. From one less flight, there's going to be a ton here that you guys are working on. Vegan diet, less packaging, reduced materials in the production phase, plastics, bioplastics, etc. So this is a really good evidence base we're using at the moment with our corporate clients. But actually, what we're going to need is to take a benefits and behaviors approach. And again, we've got some guidance on this. I won't go through all of it. We've boiled down the kind of behavioral, psychological evidence base into what businesses and brands can do to help their consumers change their behaviors, change their lifestyles, from showcasing to normalizing to just asking for what you want. So that again is on the Futerra, wearefuterra.com website. But the thing I'd love to leave you with, and the thing that I think is a game changer in 20 years of working with this, is the behavior superpower of influencers and creators. And this is an area that we're really building out at Futerra at the moment. So again, for your ultimate consumer, your customer, and thinking about how they're going to market this, or even yourselves, forget traditional advertising. I mean, it's totally useless at changing behavior or selling these new sustainability messages, and think about a more creator or influencer-led approach. Recent stats by Unilever, our partner, show just how high the stats are on folks looking to creators and influencers for advice on sustainability and advice on sustainable lifestyles. 83% of consumers think TikTok and Instagram are good places to get advice about how to live sustainably. This is not a normal message out here at the moment. This is something which is new, and as I say, we're pretty excited about. And follow-up research that we've done with Ipsos and Unilever, as we're working around a consortium around creators and sustainable lifestyles, show that creators also think that sustainability is important. They want access to briefs on this. If they're going to move their business model from just selling, business as usual, any old product, they need the sustainability products and solutions to sell. And they want access to the science. They want access to good quality, non-greenwash products and data. And again, I'll skip through this. There's not much time, but it's kind of, in some ways, it's no surprise that these creators and influencers do so well at this, because they open up, they bring us into their homes and their families' lives. They're more like talking to a friend. And we know that people trust people when it comes to sustainability and sustainable lifestyles. So I'll flip through these. They weave in sustainability, they banish myths, they normalize new behaviors. They really raise the status. And that is one of the big things that we're battling here, the low status and low desirability of sustainability solutions. So Depop and some of their high status things, and you may not be a fan, but I'm just going to leave you with this one piece.
I believe so much in the mission of Beyond Meat that I've stepped in to help with my greatest asset, my taste. This plant-based meat is not only amazingly delicious, but it's also better for you and better for the planet. It's a simple change that makes a really big difference. So fun. And now that I'm Beyond Meat's Chief Taste Consultant, there's never been a better time to go beyond.
So if you're thinking, oh, that's great, because the audiences we need to reach are not the ones who are in the folks that we talk to every day, and they're not even the audiences within the sustainability influencers. They're Kim Kardashian's followers, and there are wider, our it's where we need to build our durable majority who are going to buy this stuff and vote for this stuff and change their lives in line with this stuff. So here's our sustainability success formula. You got to think about your benefits, the behaviors you try and change, bringing the creators, and you got to pay them, the creator community, and that should be a successful way of selling your climate solution. Thank you very much.